Calaroga Shark Media.
From the Latin Quarter of Montreal, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. I just left New Faces 2. It was awesome. Way stronger than New Faces 1. Wally Barram was your host for New Faces 2. Not as strong as John Marco. And I was wondering how that would set up the room. Would it be strong enough to lead into the comedians? Don't worry about that because, boy, Max Eddy came out. Number 1, Max out of San Francisco. At that point in the evening, I wrote in my notebook, best so far. A couple notes. He does have a hack joke in the middle of his set that he needs to totally drop. And he did do the same exact joke as somebody did in New Faces 1. That said, absolutely crushed. Put an arrow. If I put an arrow in my notebook, that's a good sign. Only one person got an arrow out of New Faces 1. Next up was Catherine Blanfield out of St. Louis. I love her. I think she might have been my favorite of the 20 comedians I saw on Wednesday evening. Really liked her. She got an up arrow and a star. She was followed by Vittorio Angeloni. That's the guy out of Northern Ireland. He had a great opener about the room and how well lit it was. Very funny, and he crushed. So you had a strong open number 1 with Max Eddy, and then Catherine Blanfield and Vittorio Angeloni crushing back to back. So could it keep going? Could Sam Baru out of Chicago keep it going? Sam also got an up arrow out of me. He had a tough draw after 2 crushers, but really funny. Maybe just a hair not as good as the 2 previous, but super solid. In the 5 spot, Randy Newmeyer gets a tough draw after everybody crushing before her. She was really good too. She's out of Vancouver, liked her a lot. Then Tom Murphy from Montreal, hometown crowd behind him. A step down from the previous group, but by no means not funny, meaning funny. Chloe Radcliffe in the 7th spot out of Minneapolis. Super entertaining, really strong performer. More entertaining than funny, but strong. Ori Styla out of London in the 8th spot. I liked him a lot. Really nice performer. Dean Stanfield out of Texas came out dressed as a cowboy in the 9-hole. More of a storyteller. I'm not sure New Faces is the right room for that type of act. If you're a storyteller, you got to build these things, and it takes a minute. That said, really enjoyed him as well. Dylan Adler closed the night, and it was approaching 11 o'clock. Johnny Max gets a little tired. I was starting to struggle a little bit, but high energy performer, great closer, great way to close the night. 10 solid comedians there. They did do the thing again where they had us tape fake laughter. I forgot to mention yesterday, they had the room ice cold to keep us awake. I guess that's a good thing. In between New Faces 1 and 2, I saw Alistair Ogden hanging out in the hallway, and I was really tempted to be like, hey, want to do my podcast? But I resisted. I also saw Bruce Gray hanging around, and I probably could have grabbed him, and I was like, oh, but then he'll know I have a podcast, then he'll listen to it, and then he'll hear what I said about his set. So I did not ask him. All right, let's do a quick news story here from the corner. Nish Kumar talked about why Trump isn't actually good for comedy. He says he's not one of your crack-smoking mayors. He enjoys the festivals. He says the shows are always really good fun. There's an international circuit of comedians that do these things, that do Montreal, Edinburgh, and Melbourne. And it's a really great opportunity to catch up with some friends and also get to see some good stuff as well. He told Yahoo Canada, I watch a lot when I'm in town, and I've seen some unbelievable shows. He was doing a show in Toronto in February when Trump got into it with the tariffs. Kumar said that was a particularly febrile time. I think I was hoping that things might have calmed down a little bit, but obviously they were never going to calm down. It's a fascinating experiment. What happens when a country, for seemingly no reason out of nowhere, reverses centuries of diplomatic relations with its neighbor, with whom it shares a land border. Well, here as a Canadian, you Americans keep putting out Adam Sandler movies. I mean, Happy Gilmore 2 out on Netflix today. Don't do that. Why would you do that? Anyway, let me take the break a little early here. I got to go back to the hotel room to upload these shows so that you're actually hearing this now. And I've got a pretty robust second half. So early break, be right back. Here in Montreal, at the Just for Laughs Montreal Comedy Festival, it is the second Friday, so it's a big day. At 1 o'clock today, the New Faces Writers. 4 o'clock, Smosh reads Reddit Stories Live. They have a lot of industry-type stuff. At 5 o'clock, breaking down the pilot structure. 6:30, early show, Just for Laughs Gala with Roy Wood Jr. 7 o'clock, Nick Mohammed is Mr. Swallow Show Pony. 7 o'clock, Robbie Hoffman headlines JFL. That's a good title for a show. Well done there. The Nasty Show at 7. Nathan McIntosh at 7. Wally Baram at 7. Gina Yashir. Gina's show at 7 is called 2025, One Hell of a Decade. 7 o'clock, Just for Laughs Shorts. New Faces Stand-Up Encore at 7. Best of the Fest, 7:30. Nate Jackson, a lot of buzz on Nate at 8 o'clock. Will Anderson's Will Legitimate, 8:30. Nish Kumar, Nish Don't Kill My Vibe, 8:30. Bilingual show, Bonjour Hi, at 9 o'clock. I always love that title because one of my, I'm not the most original person, but if I'm in Montreal or France, I always do the Bonjour Hello, and they just speak to me in English. But I find that works a lot better than walking in going, yeah, let me get a venti iced coffee, like just at least attempt. My brain is able to read French pretty quickly, especially if I'm in a French-speaking country for 36 hours. The vocabulary comes and goes depending on how much prep I've done. When I did Paris a couple of years ago, it was 5 years ago now, it was right before the pandemic, I had done the Duolingo and listened to a bunch of French podcasts, and I was okay-ish. Pronunciation atrocious, but I find if you try, people are pretty cool about it. Rachel Scanlon at 9 o'clock. Just for Laughs Pilots at 9 o'clock. Michelle Bateau's Gala at 9:30. Danny Boy at 9:30. Mae Martin at 9:30. Variety's 10 Comics to Watch at 9:30. That's a heck of a show. Also at 9:30, New Faces Stand-Up Encore. Best of the Fest, 9:45. Andrea Jin at 10. Steph Tolev at 11:30. And Midnight Surprise at 11:59. At the festival tonight at 9:30, Mae Martin said, I usually get people to write questions and put them in a bucket. Then I do a little section where I improvise and answer questions from the audience. I like to create a kind of atmosphere where it feels like we're seeing something that won't happen again. May says, Canada has been very good to me. Yeah, it's great up here. No Adam Sandler movies. I like it. I've been coming to Montreal since I was a kid. It's always nice to check back in. You see the same people every summer. It's special, and I'm glad it's the festival still thriving. Also tonight in Denver, the Rise Comedy Festival, running tonight through August 2nd, the 4th annual Rise Comedy Festival. More than 150 performers from around the United States. Organizer Nick Armstrong says the comedy scene in Denver is huge. We're happy to be hosting so many people here. We have an all-access pass, which allows you to get into all of the shows, and it's actually very inexpensive, $99. That's great. I mean, if you're around and you want to hit shows for a week, that's awesome. We try to make it as inexpensive as we can so people can watch as many as they want. There are some comedy junkies in Denver. This weekend, the focus is on stand-up. There's a Stand-Up Colorado's local showcase. Saturday night, the stand-up competition finals. Comics compete for $500, $250, and $150. But the big prize is to get to perform in front of influential judges. Armstrong said, each year we bring in different judges who work in the industry, book festivals, and help comics get real exposure. Last year, some guys gave out their emails and told comics to send them tapes. That kind of connection can open real doors. Next weekend is dedicated to improv. There's also Festival Intensive, a 4-day educational programming featuring 4 instructors and 24 hours of training. The festival got 350 submissions for this year's festival. Nick says that was actually down. I think people are travel adverse because of budget, or at least that's what we've been told. But hey, I'll still take it. I mean, that's still a really healthy response. Sure is. Nick doesn't want the festival to get too big. We don't want it to become this huge thing because we don't want it to become so diluted that people can't connect. Sounds like a good festival. San Diego Comic-Con kicks off. The South Park guys will be there with their $1.5 billion that would pay for 37 and a half years of Stephen Colbert shows. There's an immersive South Park experience at Courtyard. While you're there, you can take part in an interactive photo opportunity, some trivia, karaoke, giveaways, and more. There's also a costume contest, including categories for Best Kenny, Best Kyle, Best Stan, Best Butters. The event is free and open to the public. You can also check out the Comedy Central panel at 6:45 in Hall H, featuring Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and their $1.5 billion. Down in the United States, I feel bad for you people because you are being stuck with the release today on Netflix of Happy Gilmore 2. I mean, it's just awful. Luckily, here in Canada, we don't have to deal with such things. Adam Sandler says fans stopped him in the streets for 28 years asking for this sequel. Well, everybody, you got what you asked for. Sandler said for almost 3 decades he rejected the idea and then one day changed his mind to maybe. I'm wondering how much money Netflix offered him that changed his mind. Spoilers. I mean, I don't want to ruin an Adam Sandler comedy for you. Spoilers. When Happy Gilmore 2 begins, his life isn't perfect right now, says Adam Sandler, at least at the beginning of the movie, and he's a family man. He's getting back into the golf game. The cast includes Ben Stiller, Christopher McDonald, Julie Bowen, Travis Kelce, Bad Bunny, and a bunch of pro golfers. Adam Sandler said, we wrote him stuff and everybody was kind enough to come, and everybody in it did a great job. Every day on set, someone cool would show up and would hang out. Christopher McDonald, who's 70 years old now, and has one of the best guest starring roles on Star Trek The Next Generation, as Lieutenant Castillo. Remember that? Yeah. Yesterday's Enterprise, one of the best episodes. He said, what I love about Adam Sandler is his heart. He's got so much love for people, and he's done some amazing work in the last few years, so I'm very happy for him. Let's break that apart. Adam Sandler does have heart, and that is admirable. I'm there with that. He's got love for people. That's fantastic. And as McDonald says, he's done some amazing work in the last few years. Yes, he Uncut Gems and the basketball movie and the Alien one. Those are all really good. Just stop making comedies. McDonald would not talk about the plot. He said, I signed an NDA. This is kind of a big deal. At the Happy Gilmore premiere, Sandler was asked by Entertainment Tonight what it would take for him to make a movie featuring all 3 of his famous co-star actresses together. They are Julie Bowen, Jennifer Aniston, and of course, Drew Barrymore, who has the unique ability to make an Adam Sandler comedy watchable. Sandler said it would require a great set and happiness. He joked all the ladies would suggest different diets to me during filming. They'd say, Adam, you got to stop eating this. They're all like best friends. Drew Barrymore, of course, co-starred in 2 of the watchable Adam Sandler comedies, The Wedding Singer and 50 First Dates. But even Drew Barrymore can't solve everything. She was also in Blended, which is not a great Adam Sandler movie. Sandler said he had to rewrite Happy Gilmore 2 following the death of Carl Weathers, who appears as Chubbs in the original. Sandler said, we had a painful change. Carl Weathers had a massive part. I would talk to Carl. We were excited, and then Carl passed away. We had to rewrite a lot of the stuff and even what the story was. We made a lot of nice references to how great Chubbs was in the movie. That was the biggest change. In the first version that we came up with, he had a son. He was coming back to me a lot in my dreams, and he had a son who was mad at Happy for causing the death of Daddy. This had been announced before Colbertgate. I assume it is still going on. It is a fundraiser to help pets. Come enjoy a night of stand-up and tail wags at Boris and Horton, a dog-friendly cafe in Manhattan's Lower East Side. The lineup features 6 stand-up comics who double as Daily Show writers: Ashton Womack, Joe Opio, Kat Radley, Nicole Conlon, Matt Koff, and Randall Otis. The benefit is being co-organized by Must Love Dogs and Comedy, a group known for curating inclusive pet-friendly comedy events that support animal welfare. Out today, James Fritz's new comedy album, Old Man Yells at Crowd. I feel ya, and I love the title. Out on a Special Thing Records, James recorded it in Chicago, where he was once named Best Stand-Up by the Chicago Reader, taking the stage at the Lincoln Lodge. He shared his thoughts about dating a witch, the ease of getting a vasectomy, working as a TA, his dead mom, and his dad's questionable behavior at the funeral. That is your comedy news for today. If you enjoy the program, I feel like the last 2 weeks have been pretty strong. Please tell a friend about it. Help grow this thing. And if you would like the program without commercial interruption, link in the show notes. If you're on Apple Podcasts, click that banner that says uninterrupted listening. I'll see you tomorrow.